Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back for your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, as well as the vast majority of crypto and finance. And with that being said, I hope that you are all having a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are out there in the world. Some of the biggest topics that we have witnessed become a big spotlight in crypto back in 2023 and even going into this year has been tokenization, institutional adoption, compliance, regulations. It seems as though the space is getting a little bit more serious. Maybe it's just me, but I would love to know from you guys what you think. But one of the biggest things that I've been looking at are these big summits and these big conferences. Remember, these meetings do matter. A lot of people think that these events are just a big nothing event, but that's wrong. And we know that this is wrong because of Ripple Swell, for an example. Now, the big thing that I do want to address with a lot of these major meetings, specifically even Ripple Swell, is a lot of these are actually banking conferences. I know that they might say, oh, well, these are digital asset summits, these are conferences, these are this, that, whatever. Ripple Swell has been one of the biggest events around crypto for a very long time. The thing is that it's not heavily marketed towards retail. There has been events around the space around like Solana and things like that it's just like a big retail party. Now, yes, Ripple did throw the party in New York City back in 2023, but that was like one of the only events that Ripple actually threw for the retail sector. Outside of that, Ripple Swell is not for the retail sector. It's actually fully focused on major banks. David Schwartz, the Ripple CTO, even said that Ripple, as an actual blockchain-based company, they were the ones hosting a banking conference. Think about how crazy that is. But the reason why I bring that up is because we have DAS London, Digital Asset Summit in London, March 18th through the 20th. Now, Brad Garlinghouse is going to be a speaker there. There's going to be a ton of major players here. But if we actually go over to the Digital Asset Summit 2024 on Blockworks, we can see that this is an institutional conference. And we can see the overall focus here. It's going to be around regulations, networking, tokenization, I'm sure is going to be brought up. There's going to be 750 institutions, 1,200 plus attendees, 3 days of top-tier networking, 45 content sessions, and 130 speakers, $800 billion plus assets under management represented. And this is their tickets, but we could see the players that are going to be featured there. Here are some of them, but there's over 100 plus. There's hundreds of speakers. And again, this is something that you want to focus on because there's going to be some very large players there. For an example, you have the global head of digital asset security services at Citi. Again, you have some great names from the community. You have Chainlink there being represented, Ripple. You have Goldman Sachs showing up. A lot of asset management companies, Morgan Creek as well. I mean, the list goes on and on. If you guys do want to go check out the full list, you guys are more than welcome to. But this is definitely going to be one of the largest events out there, and it's an institutional grade conference. I mean, you have BlackRock there, and names like that. So, I mean, when we really look at how big these meetings are, they should be 100% focused on. Now, a lot of people will say, oh, it's a big nothing event. But remember, right, this is where these major discussions around how we can implement digital assets, how can we get involved, how can we, change the world through this technology? These are the types of events where those discussions actually happen. And that's where the planning begins. And the same goes even with Swell, right? December 8th, we got a full breakdown of Ripple Swell. Now, again, there were 600 global leaders in payments, financial services, crypto, blockchain, and even economic policy that came to Dubai for Ripple Swell. And it was all talking about the tokenized economy. How can we get behind this? How can we push this further? And how can we adopt it? Ripple payments obviously being a big topic there as well, which of course does include XRP. Brendan Barry actually fully focused on XRP. There was a lot of discussions around XRP and how they are disrupting the status quo around cross-border payments. And this is all in front of massive leaders. They are aware of the power behind blockchain. They are aware of the power behind XRP. And yes, XRP did get a ton of great regulatory clarity within the DIFC. Again, the DIFC allowed for XRP to be completely approved for use by licensed firms, which was a big deal. And there's a lot more that really goes on behind the scenes at a lot of these events, which is why I say they need to be focused on because they are crucial. But all of this is leading down the path of regulations, adoption, and use of digital assets, including, of course, XRP. And that's why I do think that as an XRP holder and somebody who does believe in the overall vision behind this technology and why I believe that XRP is going to be a crucial piece of the global puzzle, I really do focus in on these events because there's a lot of information that does get thrown around. And remember, these are serious conferences. These are serious events. But beyond that, right? Ripple as a company has been focused on everything that needs to be in place in order for financial institutions to go live with blockchain. They recently put out this post on X and it says, Ripple works with financial institutions, regulators, and central banks around the world to develop regulatory frameworks for crypto and blockchain. Now, if you actually look at this link, this is Ripple's global public policy. Now, this first one here, and this is the actual policy, right? Ripple works with financial institutions, regulators, and central banks around the world to develop regulatory frameworks for crypto and blockchain. And this is all around issues that will impact crypto and the global economy. When we open this policy framework, we get an introduction, right? Emerging technologies such as cryptocurrency and blockchain necessitate innovative approaches to regulation. Safeguarding consumers and markets through regulatory measures remains essential, and encouraging innovation and expansion should be central to any policy framework. Now, Ripple has drafted this, and their vision for a practical regulatory framework governing cryptocurrencies, blockchain-powered payments, and digital assets, well, that's the overall goal of this policy principle. Ripple looks forward to a regulatory framework that not only nurtures the untapped potential of cryptocurrency and blockchain technology, but also establishes essential safeguards for consumers and market stability. And we have over here, adopt a globally consistent taxonomy. Currently, there is no single or generally recognized definition of crypto assets consistent with the approach taken by some jurisdictions like the UK, the UAE, Japan, and Singapore, which have issued classifications that depend on the inherent characteristics of a token and the rights attached to it. There should be a clear distinction between payment tokens, utility tokens, and also security tokens as outlined below. And here we actually have the payments or exchange tokens, the utility tokens, and security tokens. And they have a full breakdown of all three of them. I'm not going to go over every single thing in this policy, but this is a full description of all of those tokens. And we have implement a risk-sensitive regulatory framework. Now, remember, right, like Ripple already drafted a lot of frameworks in the past and even talked about frameworks with some of the largest players out there, like the G20 with the FSB, the BIS, and even the IMF. A lot of this is starting to morph into reality. This year, a lot of big changes to the regulatory front do come into play. For example, MiCA is one that we've been focused on for a little bit of time. By June, we should start to see a lot more updates on that and movement. But also we have foster innovative sandboxes, encourage public-private collaboration, and ensure global consistency and comparability. Now, all of this is a part of the full path here. Like, this is all needed in order for us to actually get that mass adoption of this technology. Everyone is always focused on price action, but the problem is, and if I'm just going to be completely honest with you guys, we are extremely early on this, and I know that that sounds terrible because we've been hearing about that for a very long time, but think about how early we are in terms of regulations that will fully disrupt this entire scene. Also, remember that regulations will wipe out 99% of this market. The 1%, and I would argue it's even less than 1%, maybe 50 to 100 tokens will be left over. And those projects are going to be the big ones that really kind of grasp a large portion of the global demand. And when I say that, we look at specific markets and what these projects are actually disrupting. With XRP, we already know payments is becoming a big deal. Cross-border payments has always been the focus of Ripple, but beyond that, they've expanded. And they've expanded the use of XRP. But we also have retail use cases on the XRP ledger. All of that is crucial to note because guess what? When we talk about utility, it does get, frowned upon in this space because speculation and hype definitely does drive the price more right now than utility. But when we are actually in a utility-driven market, I feel as though the XRP holders that have been holding on for a while, that has gone through the depths of frustration, we've been going through the ups and downs. There's been a lot of FUD. There's been, psychological warfare going on, if you will. Those individuals that have made it through so far, and again, this is why I always say the future 1% won't be made by just sitting here and holding, these digital assets, because it's so hard to actually do that. It's going to be those that are actually seeing what's happening. They're doing the research. They understand what's going on, and they can make it through to the other side of all of this FUD, all of the big major events that are going to try to shake the retail sector out. And it will work. 99% of the retail sector will get shaken out. And I've always said that. It's the same thing that has happened in the past with major innovations and technological advancements. There's only a small percentage that actually make it. And the same goes with XRP. I already see the frustration brewing now. And it's kind of crazy because guess what? We're not really all there yet. I mean, we're still at the beginning stages. So if you're getting shaken out now, I have bad news for you. You're probably not going to make it to the end destination. But beyond that, right? Like as we look at what's happening here, yes, we will need a global framework here. We need a harmonized approach to crypto regulations. This is also why I said, like, the SEC doesn't matter. US Congress does not matter. The CFTC does not matter. There's organizations in place that are bringing global harmonized regulatory frameworks alive. Like, they are working on it. Beyond that, this is all a part of a much larger plan, with CBDCs becoming a big deal, stablecoins becoming a big deal. We actually have here from the CBDC strategic advisor at Ripple, a lot of progress in the CBDC world in 2023, and great to see how many countries are looking to launch a digital currency in the next 4 years. So think about that. In the next 4 years, we're going to start to see a lot of major launches for digital currencies. Now, if we're talking about that, we're addressing 2028. From here to 2028, I want you all to understand that yes, there's going to be major ups and downs. There's going to be a lot of adoption. There's going to be a lot of change happening around this space. There's going to be a ton of flows during that time period. But also think about what needs to be in place before those 4 years, right? So before 2028, sometime within that period, we need regulations. We need a major shake of the markets. And guess what? That will happen. I personally believe that 2025 to 2026, that is the golden time frame for regulations. That's when we will start to see a large push on regulations. And we're already starting to see that now. But in a recent Ripple survey of global financial institution leaders, 85% of respondents think that their country will launch a digital currency within the next 4 years. The majority of leaders cited financial inclusion as a key CBDC benefit, and many of them feel the technology will deliver enhanced national competitiveness, ensure greater efficiencies within payment systems, and advance innovation more broadly. Again, like I said, the race is on here. I've been talking about that for a while, and I know that it sounds like I'm a broken record, right? But just think about it like this, right? I'm probably going to be sitting here in a month or two from now saying something very similar. Because guess what? It's true. The race is on. Since Ripple put out that report talking about the stablecoin race, guess what we have witnessed? Major stablecoin initiatives, stablecoin bills being drafted. Hell, even in the US, we have a stablecoin bill. So for those out there that are always saying, oh, it's happening, it's happening, it's happening, you say that 100 times all the time, I want you all to realize that, yeah, I do say it, but repetition is so crucial right now in this space, because I want you all to understand that, yes, these things are happening. Yes, these things are coming. Yes, they are drafting everything that needs to be put in place in order for this overall digitalization revolution to actually occur. I get it. We want price action. Everyone wants price action. But guess what? The overall financial system is undergoing a major and significant change. Don't take it from me. Go and do some research. Look at Swift. Go look at what the DTCC is doing. Go look at what the BIS, the Central Bank of Central Banks, is doing. Look at what the Federal Reserve did last summer with FedNow. Do you honestly think that all of this is happening at a time where crypto and these major players like Ripple that have been around for well over a decade are just not a part of it? It is all tied together. I don't need to sit here and hold your hand throughout the entire process and say, hey, look it, XRP is doing this, XRP is doing that. No, because guess what? We can all see the much larger picture coming together. Of course, if we do the research and if we understand what's actually going on. I don't care about price action within the next year. I've already said this. I've already mentioned this. I have XRP, but I have multiple other bags of crypto that I feel very confident in taking profits and making a ton of money off of this year. XRP, I'm just going to be honest with you guys, I don't care to sell any of my long-term XRP bag. I have an XRP bag that I will take profits from, that I will sell leading up to about $5 to $10. But beyond that, I have a very large percentage of my bag of XRP that I just don't care to tap into. Because I believe in the longer term vision here around technology and the digital revolution that is upon us. Because we've already started to see the major changes happening. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. And with that being said, guys, thanks for watching. This has been Nick. Peace out.